Lucky Lefty Podcast, Onora Boys in the building. We're brought to you by ONORA Whiskey. It is ONORAWhiskey.com on a Victory Monday. ONORA Whiskey. It's that smooth, premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. And if you're going to drink, by all means, you better make sure you do it
responsibly.
Let's go. Lucky Lefty Podcast, MALIK, ZAIRE, SHAUN, Davis, the ONORA Boys. Notre Dame with a great victory. Some people, they were a little unsatisfied. We understand that we're right here for you. If you want to state how you felt about that win over Virginia, we hear you. But we're going to talk about it. MALIK's post-snap read coming up. Post-game comments from Marcus Freeman and players. The recruiting updates. The CFB weekend. I'm sure Left has a lot to say about his Colorado squad and his Georgia squad. Don't forget TikTok, Twitter, X, Instagram at Lucky Lefty Pod. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up. It helps with the views. Leave your comments and questions. We respond to all. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Lucky Legends Podcast. Also players only. They might be going live tonight because the former players have some things to say. We'll let you know. Apple Podcast, Spotify, CFB Nation. We are the home of the misguided, passionate left. We are forever committed to making sure that we spin it
different.
So all my Notre Dame Chicago fans, hey man, my heart goes out to you. My heart, you thought you had one. You thought you were going to have one. You lined up for the 46-yard, and you thought Caleb had brought you back just like you thought he had brought you back up in Washington. Hit you. Yesterday, whoop, block field.
Now, what do you say to that? Now, what's the excuse now? I just wonder.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse. I told you that the head coach is the worst head coach in the division. I told you that this summer. I told you you're going to Notre Dame.
You can't blame the head coach on that one, bro.
Worst head coach. We just wait. We saw Jim Harbaugh in the same situation on Sunday night, literally 3-4 hours later. Same situation with the ball. 30 seconds. He decides to keep running and not take time off the clock and settle. And what happens? J.K. Dobbins to the house. And then
to the house.
Wait. And then Cincinnati just happens to get the ball and get to the 50-yard line for a Hail Mary. And Coach Harbaugh had a timeout left. That's what he needed with the timeout. He took it. He didn't walk in the locker room with it left. He took it. He took it and talked to his team to make sure they were one accord and make sure one of his players wasn't talking to the fans at the snap. See,
I cannot believe you blaming the head coach on that one. It's just they lined it up straight for a kick for the win. It was 2 seconds left. It was going Chicago victory, division win, great celebrate. Caleb bringing them back. The fans didn't leave at halftime.
What happened? Did they win?
I know you fell out your chair.
Did they win? I didn't fall out my chair. I didn't fall out my chair at all. I sat there and laughed. I laughed just hard as I laughed at the Hail Mary. I just laughed. I said, I told you. Until they get rid of the albatross that is Matt Eberflus and possibly Ryan Poles. Because Ryan Poles might be worse than Matt Eberflus in this thing.
Oh, worse.
Might be worse. Oh, how can an offensive lineman fail to build an offensive line in 3 years?
You said that he was the biggest factor in the draft and he made the right choice getting Caleb and
Wait. What's your first job when you have a rookie quarterback? Because I saw Washington do it.
Bengals got a problem with that too, though.
Well, see, wait a minute. But you just told me a few weeks ago that Zach Taylor was all right. See, when I brought up in question,
Zach Taylor, he's struggling right now too. He's struggling.
So when you make up your mind, Left, is he all right or is he questionable?
Joe Burrow's leading the league in touchdowns, passing yards. Jamar Chase leading in receptions. That's great.
4-7. 4-7. That's all that. 4-7. That's all that matters. 4-7.
It's misleading 4-7. It's a misleading 4-7.
No, that's an epic crib in the offseason 4-7. That's what that is. It's misleading 4-7. I swear. Lucky Lefty podcast. This is a misleading 4-7. I've never heard
It's a misleading 4-7 because we can't be leading all these categories.
I tweet that out right now. Brian Kelly is a misleading 6-5.
No, that's on point. You got people yelling at him on the sideline. What's up with that?
Brian Kelly's LSU record is misleading, folks. Lucky Lefty podcast. So, as always, man, Malik's post-snap read. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm very interested in this because, Notre Dame put up 35 points. Penalties, Pat Coogan took a 78-yard off the board to Jaden Harrison. You had a penalty on the fake punt. That was a 73-yarder. And you had some other big plays nullified by penalties and mistakes. So the offensive output could have been much greater. But I will say this before we get to the post-snap reads. I'm interested in how Notre Dame fans feel. Immediately after the game, I understand. But as you take a step further back from this game on this Monday evening, do you feel the same as you felt about the game? Do you feel the same way that you felt immediately after the game as far as the performance by the Fighting Irish? I'm very interested in what people in the chat have to say. So let's get to it. Malik's post-snap read brought to you by ONORA Whiskey. How did you see the performance of the offense? And I already know you got some things to say about certain parts, but go ahead, Lev. 9 penalties.
Listen,
9 penalties on the day.
Just trying to finish the season strong. You're gonna have some hiccups. What we have struggles on offense isn't gonna be fixed overnight. It kind of is what it is, in my opinion. And the better we can cover around it, I mean, we're still able to outmatch teams physically and also be able to put points on the board, man. And we can't really evaluate it until we get into issues and struggles. But at the end of the day, I think we have some opportunities to grow. But what do you want? What do you expect? I mean, we right now we're hurting in a lot of areas that I've already said, but it'll work itself out.
Yeah, Lucky Lefty podcast. Your GTB questions, get them in. Get your GTB questions in. Also, make sure you get your super chats in so we can get to them immediately. I see my boy, Little Tunchi John Massey with the GTB question. Pour one out for Kate Gibbs, the Lions, and Bears, and Left's Jags. I forgot about that matchup. Left was real quiet about that this weekend. Left, you didn't bring that one up. Lev, you didn't bring that up. You didn't bring up the Alabama Mercer game this weekend. You didn't bring any.
Mercer let me down. Mercer let me down.
The 9-1 Mercer squad let you down.
Look, I think they got cold feet. The moment was too big for them. They were prepared, but they just couldn't outmatch what Alabama had cooking right now. And the fact that Alabama just jumps up so far up the rankings is kind of crazy. I haven't seen. Maybe they're still living off of that Saban aesthetic, but how are they just jumping from 18 to 12 to 6 to, I mean, they just, kings of the sliders. The sliders are up in their aspect. And I'm telling you the 12 playoff teams is getting tight. It's just getting tight. I think there's a lot of good teams that's going to miss out. And the teams that they got above us, I feel comfortable about all of them, especially Oregon. After watching them struggle with Wisconsin and Dylan Gabriel, I think he's getting a little tight with all the pressure and all the weight weighing on him. So, I mean, we have everything in front of us. It's our destiny right now. But, man, I think it's going to be interesting to see how we're sloppy at points, as big of a margin we win by, because thank goodness to the mastermind from our defensive coach, Al Gold. I mean, he's mad scientist with these blitzes, mad scientist at being able to stop momentum of other offenses. I mean, he does a really good job. But at the end of the day, offensively, we struggle so much to get going at times, and the defense saves us so much that it's sort of one of the more interesting dynamics in college football, So I think we find ways to win, and we have so many guys that can get it done. Shout out Jeremiah Love once again being a game breaker. Whenever you just need a touchdown to seal the game or to put the game in our control or to be in the lead, Jeremiah Love seems to get it done like it's no problem. Like you're wondering why is he not getting more touches a game when he runs the ball 6 yards to the end zone. So I am interested to see where this continues to go. But we won't know until we legitimately get challenged by an offense that scores points. When we got guys like Xavier Watts that's doing what he does in the defensive front that do what they do, it just makes it hard for teams to really keep up. And we see that week in and week out. But it doesn't excuse the sloppiness that we play with offensively at times that I think will cost us in the end. But these other teams I'm watching, they're struggling on both sides of the ball. At least we're struggling on one side. So it's who can struggle the least going into these big matchups. And like I said, I think the playoffs is a whole different environment, whole different setup where the mistakes will cost more. But we seem to not get tight in moments defensively. We just turn up the heat, and we do have a safety valve in Jeremiah Love.
We're going to get to our screen poppers because I'm sure Jeremiah Love might be everyone's screen popper on the offensive side of the ball. But we'll have you guys put your screen poppers in the chat as we get through the show. Some thoughts from Lilo Galante on, Lilo says not having a kicker is a problem if we're talking about going deep in the playoffs. Lilo, I agree, but I think we need to relax. Okay?
Yeah.
Mitch Jeter pulled his hamstring. I think he came back too early. They get 2 to 3 weeks off before that home playoff game. We hope it's a home playoff game. Just sit him. Just sit him and ride it up with the back. You should be up by double digits on the last 2 remaining opponents, bro. If you're in a game where it comes down, and we know football can happen like that, where you might end up in a game where it's close, you need a field goal kicker. Look, man, if they can't beat Army and USC with the backup field goal kicker, and that's the reason they lose, then they don't deserve to make the playoffs at this point. Mitch Jeter needs to sit his tail down. His hamstring is not going to get any better forcing it in cold weather. It's not. Obviously, he tried the first attempt, and you could tell his leg is still not right. It's not right. It's not right. It is what it is. Rest him, get it right, and be ready for the playoffs. That's it. And until they take the field in the playoffs and he is not the kicker, then I'll worry about that. I'll worry about that impacting Notre Dame in the playoffs. As of right now, when it comes to Army and USC, the kicking situation, man, 40 yards in, kick it. Anything outside of 40, go ahead and go for it, Marcus Freeman. I have absolutely no problem, especially if it's 4th and less than 4 yards or 4 yards or less. Just go for it. Go for it and put 7 on the board. That's the way I feel. I got Noob Life, 007. What's good, bro? I feel that our offense is inconsistent with Riley Leonard's lack of throwing ability and recognizing coverage. I thought Riley played okay on Saturday. The interception was inexcusable. I have no clue what he was looking at. No, I mean, I absolutely do know what he was looking at. He was staring Bo Collins down. And I don't know if he was just trying to get Bo going because Bo had, a huge drop early in the first quarter.
He's just such an inconsistent guy. I mean, what do you expect? It's like he's going to do that. I think at this point, he's just not made to be consistent as a total quarterback throughout the entire game, and it gets exposed at this level because Duke hasn't been ranked this high this many weeks in a row with this much pressure in these situations. So his laxing and his B game happens to be like a C and minus game at times throughout the game, and it just shows on a level where you're like, oh, these are obvious mistakes. Like, what are you doing? We just happen to have enough around him to cover for it. And which is it's just going to play a factor in these tighter games in the playoffs, I believe. But we're gung ho on what he provides for this team, and we're going to die and ride with this ship here. So I mean, how much can we really expect?
But I understand the frustration with him, and he is who he is, right? But we tried to forecast this for Notre Dame.
We tried. I mean, it's so that
your emotions wouldn't get to this point. We tried to forecast it. Malik watched film on them all summer and said, look, these are going to be his struggles in the passing game. He's not consistent in the passing game.
It doesn't get better.
What did you say? You said you looked at his stats and his completion percentage was up and down.
Up and down, up and down.
And that's what you're going to get. And then he gets
injured. Games over 300 yards passing. Not going to happen. It's like he's a very limited kid. And it's obvious. It sucks that, you know, some quarterbacks you can be like, man, there's so much more potential. There is no more potential with Riley. It is what it is. I think Denbrock told us before the season started, he is who he is. He's not getting better than what he is right now. And it's going to be we have to use everybody around him.
He can get better at who he is. He can get better at who he is. That means be the best you. Martin Luther King said, dude, if you're gonna sweep floors, be the best. I don't care who you are, just be the best. He can play the best and use the best of his abilities and play to the level of the best of his abilities. He hasn't done that consistently. That's all you can ask.
It's not going to get better if we get towards the playoffs.
200 yards passing and 50 yards rushing. That's not. You're not asking somebody a lot, bro. I keep saying this.
It's not a lot to ask. Yeah,
having a low bar of expectation for Notre Dame quarterbacks. I'm tired. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to accept somebody throwing for 170 yards and everybody clapping and giving a round of applause. It's like
it's sickening. It's sickening. It's sickening when Shedeur Sanders is throwing for 400.
I don't want to compare him to Shedeur. I don't even, because he's a totally different quarterback. Look, can I turn on TV and just write down 250 at some point in the future? Hopefully that's in the hopefully I think that's in the quarterback room. Hopefully I think it is.
It's in the room, yes.
Yes.
It's in the room.
One of the youngsters, maybe they can give that to us. But
Riley would have to give up a part of his run game to get to the 250 threshold, in my opinion. Or above 250. He would have to give up running around in order to do that.
We're gonna talk about that because we're gonna hear from Jeremiah Love. And I want you to hear some of his comments. Like Jeremiah Love is pretty much like, dog, what y'all talking about? I can do this every day, all day.
And we loved it. That's what it goes back to. We only giving him a certain amount of character. Everybody's a role player and this and that. He's like, man, I am the X factor of the team. What are we talking about? I'm the X factor. When y'all need a long touchdown, give it to me. We should be doing it more often. I think he runs more pissed off as the season gets later in the season, and it shows because he consistently does it versus anybody we go against. And at some point, in that offensive coordinator room in Denbrock, and even in that offensive staff meeting, we have to be like, look, let's stop playing ourselves and just give him the rock for 25, 30 carries. Maybe see what happens with that. Everybody can't get the ball in the clutch. That's something that we have to understand as a team, which goes back to that X factor I talked about before the season started, which gets back to what I talked about on Friday, is that at some point we got to be like, listen, we have to go to a go-to guy. Who is going to be that de facto guy? I said that about the D-line, but on the offense is no different. Who's the guy that's like, all right, enough of this, trying to share the love, everybody get a piece of the pie? Who's getting the piece that is who's getting the big piece of chicken? When you get to dinner and you got your family all there, the big piece of chicken goes to one person over. You don't split the big piece of chicken up just to make everybody feel good and they get – no, you get the legs, you get the wings, but somebody getting that big thigh.
Hey, that was my pop's piece. That was my pop's piece.
And that's it.
If he didn't get home by 9, because sometimes he had to go from work to choir rehearsal. So if he didn't get home from choir rehearsal by 9, that big piece was gone. He was going to have to get some fast food. He knew it. He had 3 boys in the crib. Yeah, he knew.
Big piece wasn't surviving.
Yeah, but
you know
what he would do? You know what he would do? He would stop by Limbs and get him a slab. And then walk in the crib with that, the grease on the bottom of the brown bag.
Eating in the car.
And had us smelling that. We're like, okay, mom just made us liver. You walk in here with a slab.
That's right.
A slab and some fries. That's what you're doing to us? Lucky Lefty Podcast. I got Sly Fox. Thank you for chiming in. Have to clean up penalties. No excuses this late in the season. And all the drop passes. Drop passes have become at key times in drives. They have.
But the drop passes is just a microcosm of the inconsistent quarterback play. So as long as we're inconsistent at the quarterback play, the belief factor is inconsistent. Guys don't believe the ball's going to get to him. You know, you saw a couple plays yesterday. Man, I hate giving Josh Allen credit. I just have to talk about it.
Wait.
I hate giving this man credit. Oh, my God.
Did he put on the tape? Did he put on the tape?
They didn't tackle him. They just let him walk in the end zone. They didn't tackle him. You got Drew Tranquil just jogging. Drew.
Now you coming at Drew.
Play.
Now you coming at Drew.
You try to punch it out at the end. Drew, if you don't make a play.
Two-time Super Bowl champion Drew Tranquil, you coming at?
Drew Tranquil did not want to make the. I don't know if they had an agreement. I don't know if their wives sitting in the booth together or whatever, but Drew, make the play. Stop making this man look better than what he is. Drew just walk. Drew's running next to the guy. Like, what are you trying to punch the ball out for this football? Make the play, Drew. Stop making Josh Allen look this good. But I was happy. I mean, he underthrew the hell out of a wide open tie. I said, that's Josh Allen for you right there. Right there. He will never be Joe Burrow, who has back-to-back 300-yard games, three touchdown passes plus, doing his thing. He's just on a bad organization. The front office is terrible. But at the same time, I mean, Riley Leonard is Riley Leonard. I mean, I get blue in the face talking about it, but I told you so. And it's just one of those things that can set us back in the playoff game. But at the same time,
you know what's weird, Left? You know what's really weird? And I think I said this on the post-game show. Early in the season, this is not me talking. This is your own quarterback talking at the press conference. Our receivers have been open all year. I just haven't been throwing.
Okay, so what?
Wait. So this is the weird part. Because they were catching the ball when they had opportunities early in the season. The opportunities weren't coming because the quarterback wasn't throwing the ball. And now that he's playing better, now they're dropping the ball. It's just the weirdest things. It's like you said.
Is it? Because I can give you the same correlation about Carson Beck.
No.
Georgia's receivers have the most drops in the SEC. And Carson Beck has also the most interceptions. And Carson Beck also has plays the most inconsistent in the SEC. So when you play,
it plays a part. It plays a part. And then their offensive line has been Georgia offensive line has been inconsistent as well.
Okay, but when you play inconsistent at the quarterback position, you what are you going to expect your receivers to catch everything? They're going to be inconsistent as well. It's a trickle down effect. Riley Leonard is only it's synonymous with how Carson Beck is. Carson Beck, we thought the world of him until he started throwing all them damn picks. Till he started playing inconsistent on a great team still. But Georgia has played teams that have the caliber to beat them on the offensive side. You look at an Ole Miss, you look at an Alabama. We haven't played an offense like an Alabama or an Ole Miss the whole season. So what I'm saying is, yes, the receivers need to catch the football. But at the same time, when your quarterback is inconsistent, there's a intangible difference that goes on of a belief factor, you know, where it's like, damn, like, yeah, we need to catch the ball, but, you know, I'm surprised it got to me. There's some thought of that. I thought that was a good ball.
I remember one of the toughest things here in Chicago, we used to start our baseball season in March. And it was like the worst thing in the world, right? Because the grass is still soggy from the snow that has just melted. And we're playing on fields that are just in horrible conditions. They haven't been rounded out or beat into the condition that you'll get in the springtime in early April or late April. And then the wind is like crazy, right? And we knew those were factors that made it difficult.
Yeah, it doesn't excuse the play.
As a center fielder, my coach didn't want to hear that.
You don't want to hear it as a coach or as a fan, but it's real.
It's real. It's a factor. That's what I'm saying. It's a factor. You still have to get the job done. I agree with everyone in the chat. You still have to catch the ball. But things are still factors.
When you're not throwing for 300.
I'm not absolving anybody in that chain or that flow.
We're not absolving the receivers. Receivers got to do their job.
It's weird that early in the season when they were open and they were catching the ball, i.e. Bo Collins, was, man, solid early in the season. The go-to guy early in the season. You're throwing back fades, crossers, everything to this guy. He's catching everything. And then all of a sudden, as you improve as a quarterback, for whatever reason, concentration, It's almost like once or twice a game, here comes a drop.
And
right?
it's like, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Hendricks. Hendricks throws the ball hard as hell. Probably
Who was
this? Our guy Hendricks.
Oh, your guy. Okay, yeah.
I'm talking about 5 yards apart. He's throwing it no different. He's like the Tyler Buckner thing, throwing it as hard as he can, no matter what the distance is. Yeah, it hits me in the hands, but damn, dude, okay. You don't have to kill me with the football. It's the same thing. It's like a baseball pitcher throwing like a one of them sliders, one of them awkward throws where it's like, yeah, it's hittable, but you like, damn, it just the way it comes in the hands, it's just a little different. It's not like a nice, like air through a nice connector. It's just a nice boom. Okay, boom. It made it. The struggles is obviously there.
I won't push back. What I'm going to say is I don't think the drop Saturday in this particular game against Virginia had anything. I think just this has been Bo Collins multiple weeks. So at this point, it is really like, come on, dude. Like you're having some key drops, and you can't have drops on first down when you can get a chunk play on first down, move the ball close to midfield, and get the rhythm of that drive going. You kill the rhythm of the drive early. You kill that because, like you said, you don't want, once again, they struggled against Florida State on third down, as opposed to the 3 previous games where they were up around 60%, elevating themselves from somewhere in the 70s nationally to somewhere now in the 50s nationally. They picked it up. Florida State, 5 of 12. You can attribute some drops to them being 5 for 12 on third downs. You come into this game, they struggle once again on third downs against a lesser defense. Well, their defense, talent-wise, is not as good as Florida State, but I think they play harder than Florida State, and I think they're definitely well coached. So I'm not happy with the third down efficiency the last 2 weeks. I think you can call the drops into question. You can also call the penalties into question, putting them in third and long situations consistently. That's something else you need to look at. But other than that, Left, I mean, I'm not going to take Riley Leonard. The 1 for 12 is ridiculous, Left. 1 for 12? 1 for 12 on third downs? Come on, man. Pop Warner football, you're going 1 for 12, and you're happy with it because you're probably winning that game 7-6. But you can't have that. You can't have that. And there's no way. We can blame the receivers for the drops, but that 1 for 12, the quarterback has to wear that as well. That's big. That's being honest. The offensive coordinator has to wear that. Everyone has to wear that type of third down inefficiency in a football game. It's ridiculous. Offensive line with penalties in inopportune times. You have to wear that. You have to wear that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And you thought you had it fixed for 3 straight games. And here it comes rearing its ugly head in November. They're winning games, but we have to have an honest conversation about the decline in third down efficiency. And I think in order to really solve the issue, you have to solve first and second down because you don't have a quarterback that you can just drop back on 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 7 and feel fully confident. You have to put defenses in a trick bag, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3. So you can scheme some things. You can keep them on their heels. They don't know if you're going to run the ball. You don't know if they're going to pass the ball. That's the offense you have to be on third downs. And also, it sets you up to be able to go for it on 4th and short. 4th and short with this offense and with Riley Leonard being the extra legs in the running game is darn near impossible to stop, to be honest. It's darn near impossible to stop. They showed that on one of the last drives against Virginia. They just kept running the ball. 4th down again, run it up the middle. 4th down again, 3rd and short again, run it up the middle. There's absolutely nothing Virginia could do until they got down there and inside the 5, Riley just He misses Eli Raritan coming across on a drag. All he had to do was wait a little bit. He tries to hit Mitchell Evans in the back of the end zone. Incomplete. The fourth down play. Aeneas Williams is wide open in the flat. Wide open. Just get him the ball quickly. He's going to run into the end zone. Everybody is frustrating in this process, bro.
Everybody's frustrated.
And I'm not about to be the person to say what you're doing is because of that person. No. Catch the ball.
Catch the ball.
Godly.
Accountability has to take place.
Receivers on time. Offensive line. When you hit a big play to Jaden Harrison, don't grab the face mask. I understand they're running an inside twist, but guess what? You got your running back coming over to take Aeneas Williams. Great pickup block on that touchdown pass to Jaden Harrison. Great pickup on the blitz. But man, hit the dude in his chest. You're not reaching up. That's not good technique. Get as much of them as you can. Get to your dude and let the responsibility of the running back and his accountability take its course. Aeneas Williams did his job. Pat Coogan, you did not do your job. You did not effectively execute your job. You have to do that.
And chemistry. We haven't had the synchron. We haven't been in sync for a while, right? Between quarterback and receiver, certain parts of our offense in terms of third down hasn't coordinated with quarterback because it's just a certain anxiety that exists when it gets beyond 3rd and 6. There's just a certain anxiety. Denbrock doesn't quite know if the plays that he knows will get a first down, we can execute well. So he's hesitant on calls. Receivers don't have quite the chemistry that you develop in a full off season with the quarterback. That comes into question when you get in tight situations because they get a little more tight because they're like, damn, okay, this is a big play coming towards me, but shit, I might not get it if I don't, might be my one and only catch of the day. Because he's going to run around. He's not in sync with me. He might take off and run. He's not looking downfield. I'm open. He ain't looking at me. There's a lot of different intangible things that happen outside of just catch the ball. That's easy to say. But when you don't have chemistry, that's just like when you don't have chemistry with your girl.
The chemistry is everyone.
Yeah, it's everyone. But if
you want to break up, if you want to cut the pie in bigger pieces, the left, you do that. You played the game. You would know more about that than me. But everybody deserves a part of the blame. Everybody. I'm not about to sit up here and say, well, you put that just on this. No, man. Catch the ball. Throw the ball on time. Consistently. We need you to make the right reads consistently.
The chemistry and timing is hand in hand. If we're used to hitting an out route on time and we get in the game and I can't trust that you're gonna be there on time when I run this out route because you running around or you missing things or you late or even the simple things can be the hardest things because the timing and chemistry isn't right. You can't. It's not a thing that you could just make up on the spot, and it's just more embarrassing because people that don't necessarily understand what that timing and chemistry what it takes, it throws you off. It throws you off. So it's like, yeah, I mean, yes, we have to catch the football. There's no excuse for that. But there is such thing as chemistry and timing that doesn't quite exist the way it should. Okay. Just like Georgia, I keep going back to Carson Beck and his receivers. Yeah. He's missing 2 of his best receivers, Ra Thomas and the other guy. Because he doesn't have those guys he's probably built all this chemistry up with, he's dealing with new guys that don't get the same amount of reps, don't get the same amount of time. So stuff that is usually routine becomes a little bit more hectic, becomes a little bit more chaotic, becomes a little bit more in question, not because they can't do it, but that timing when
guys are out of position. Guys out of position because Arian Smith is usually the slot guy taking the top off the ball. Now Arian Smith is playing outside as the number 1. That's not.
It all matters.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I get it. I want to explain to the fans, Love, if this is possibly part of the reason some of that rhythm is missing offensively, even as they improved a little bit. You
can't hide it. You can't hide it.
They come in thinking they're going to be able to do certain things. And after 3 games, they realized, you know what? We can't do what we think what we thought we could do in the passing game. They have to scale things down, and they have to get the offense to a point where the offense is all about building up your quarterback's confidence. So now it becomes more of a running offense, 12 personnel, and now you have to build his confidence up, and the wide receivers are not getting opportunities. All right. Now they get Riley Leonard involved in the running game. The offense starts to pick up. They start to put points on the board. Riley's feeling good about himself. And now Mike Denbrock tries to open it up more, tries to go to more 3-4 wide receiver sets, feeling comfortable that Riley is in it. He's practiced. He's gotten better. He's seeing the field. He's getting through his progressions. He's being a little bit more accurate. He's not making the same mistakes. But the offense is literally gone from like one offense to another offense, and now you're trying to open it up to another offense and evolve.
Like you see how Detroit every week. Detroit is every week succinct.
They know what they're going to do.
They going what they running the ball, they throwing the ball. They running the ball, they play action. They screen, they run. They got all the things that they do each and every week. It doesn't change.
Yeah.
Right? And some of that is due to they've been at a whole off season. But at the end of the day, they do everything the same. They don't change. When you talk about evolving offense, we've seen so many different versions of our offense throughout the year because one guy is behind, one guy is getting better, one guy is in and out of the lineup. So you get to see the change within the chemistry throughout the week. We talked about Bo Collins. Bo Collins becomes a focal point, then he doesn't become a focal point. Then it becomes a run. And then you got your quarterback leading the team in rushing. And then you got – hold on.
Only on Lucky Lefty podcast, Lil Left raising havoc. But no, I agree. Notre Dame fans, I understand, man. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to get to the place where we start pointing fingers and it's just one person we're pointing fingers at. Everyone. This is a group effort to go 1 for 12. 1 for 12 against that defense offensively? Yeah, have fun with that film session. Everybody should get it. Everybody should get a piece of that chewing out in that film session. Let's get to a couple more GTB and your super chats. We appreciate you guys. Let's see. Sly Fox, you had another one. How we lose a running back to Kansas. Did we tell him to shop down a different aisle because we got a dog coming? I'll put it like this. With Justin Thurman, Ryan, I wish Ryan was on the show. Ryan, we used to do when we did the recruiting hour, myself and Ryan Roberts and Daniel Anderson and Justin Thurman were the running backs in the class. Ryan Roberts and myself both agreed, like, that's not Jadarian, that's not Jeremiah, that's not Keedron, that's so honestly, the young man they just flipped from BC is more along the talent of the current guys in the running back room. That's just my opinion. If you ask Ryan Roberts, he probably would agree. Nolan James fits. Did Daniel Anderson and Justin Thurman fit from a talent perspective to really compete for carries? Nah. I'll just step out on a limb. My opinion, no, they didn't. They didn't. Does Nolan James fit? Yes. Do they possibly go after somebody else? Maybe. But if I'm cool with them just sticking with Nolan James, knowing that Jeremiah Love and Jadarian more than likely coming back, Keegan's in the class, Jabron Payne's coming back. They only need one running back. So if I had to trade the two they had in the class for the one that they just flipped from Boston College, I'll take that. I'll take that trade. I'll take that trade. I'm not here to debate how it happened or whether or not it was the right thing or the honorable thing. I won't get into all of that. But as a fan, I'm happy with what took place. I'm happy. I'm not losing sleep over man, Daniel Anderson, Justin Thurman, I hope you guys have great careers at your institutions. But I'm super excited about Nolan James being in this 25 class representing the running back room. Super excited. D-Mont, Mr. Food Lover, thank you for the GTB question. With the current ND team, if you had to pick 4 guys to represent the modern day 4 horsemen, who would it be? Ooh. The top 4 running backs. Well, no. Give me the top 3 running backs in Raleigh. Yeah, give me the top 3 running backs in Raleigh Leonard. Because he's pretty much a running back in the running game as well. Super chat from my guy Joe Papiti. Joe, man, long time, bro. Haven't seen you. Good to see you back on here. Hi, fellas. I don't have to hope because I know that the LL boys are keeping it real. Always, Joe. You already know it. This offense needs a lot of work. I'm not going to be out here saying, well, they're playing this bad and still dominating. We need better. Joe, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. There's nothing wrong with you feeling that way, especially forecasting what the offense needs to do to be able to make a run in the playoffs and beat really good teams that also have talent and also have defenses that can keep their team in the game as well. I agree with you. And it's really not about, look, if they just don't commit penalties and stay in front of eliminate the penalties that puts them behind the sticks and just play clean football and play in front of the sticks, Notre Dame is going to put up points. They're going to put up points because they have offensive weapons, and they really are an explosive offense. They can score from anywhere on the field in the running game. Riley can hit you with a big chunk play. The top 2 running backs and have shown against good defenses that they can hit you with big runs. Aeneas Williams continues to grow, continues to show his versatility in the run game, the pass game. He's your 3rd down back, which means you trust him as your blocker. So he has to be one of your best blitz pickup running backs. He has to be one of the best for you to trust him on 3rd downs. That role was specifically for Jabron Payne last year. So for a freshman to come in and to gain the trust of the coaching staff that you can put me and trust me on passing downs and 3rd downs, that says a lot about who that young man is. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. But I agree with you, Joe. I agree with your sentiment. Don't have a problem with that. John Massey, GTB. I'll save that one for left when he comes back. He's cleaning up dishes all over the place. Give him a second. John Massey, thank you for the super chat. Shout out to the ladies team. Hannah, let me tell you something. Left questioned this. Left question, man. I don't know if Hannah and Olivia can play together. I'm like, dude, come on, man. They're great players. Most great players don't have a hard time unless they have serious ego issues. Great players don't have a hard time learning how to play together. They just don't. And they play so well off each other, so well, and they allow each other to rest offensively, which means they both can give energy on the defensive end. Notre Dame, their defense, and shout out to NBC. That's great coverage, giving us that double dip, allowing us to see Notre Dame basketball and Coach Schroes shred Georgetown, shred them. And the Alapka kid, big day. He was on fire early. Big day for that kid, Burton. Even when he's been struggling shooting early in the season. But, just a floor general, a leader. They had some big boys off the bench. I love what I'm seeing. Davis doing his thing down low. I love what I'm seeing from Coach Schroes. And he's bringing in the number 4 recruiting class and the 25 recruiting class. So you have to be excited with what Coach Schroes is creating up there in South Bend. Lucky Lefty podcast. So let's see. Byron Anthony, man, we appreciate you as well. Great to see you, Mr. Davis, Mr. Zaire. Go Irish, beat Army. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about this Army game coming up later this week. It was absolutely amazing. All right. So that's our take on Saturday. if you have some more takes on Saturday and how you feel about that victory. Do you feel the same as you felt immediately after the game? Or have you calmed down a little bit and you feel a little bit better now that you're getting ready to see this team go up to New York to take on the Army Cadets, man, a team that, if they stay in the game with their defense, they're tough-minded, they don't commit penalties. The offense is not really, I don't think their offense is going to challenge Notre Dame. Notre Dame is just going to have to be disciplined and do their jobs. Very interested if we see the youngsters, because when they face Navy, a lot of the young defenders didn't get a chance to play along that defensive line. We didn't see Logan Thomas because he was injured, I believe. They thought he might have a chance to play against Navy. He ended up not playing. No, Logan Thomas did play against Navy, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw Logan Thomas play early in that game. Maybe I'm wrong. And then Bryce Young, we heard Al Golden say last week in his press conference that they really didn't want to play him as a freshman going up against that attack, and that they felt like Bryce Young had hit a wall. He had hit the freshman wall. So it was kind of a week off for him to kind of like regenerate. And that's what's up. I really love a coaching staff to really be that thoughtful towards their young defender like that. Like we have enough veteran leadership to get us through this game. Let's not put him in a trick bag mentally when he's physically kind of beaten up. He really needs to regenerate his body and then not have to worry about being at his best when, if you're not your best physically and you're scrambled mentally your first time seeing that Navy attack. That could be a heck of a task for a true freshman. It could be a heck of a task for a true freshman. And Al Golden and the staff felt like it was best to kind of let him he was there if they needed him. But if they could get through the game without him, they were going to go ahead and do that. Man, you appreciate that. I see Left coming back with the cereal shortly. Let's go ahead and get to the press conference. Marcus Freeman. This is what Marcus Freeman had to say about the game himself, and this is how he opened his press conference on Saturday. Take a listen.
A great team victory. It's what we aspire to do all week for our seniors on a senior night. This obviously ain't the end of our season, but this was the night that we said this is going to be senior night and our last guaranteed opportunity for our seniors to play in the stadium. And so it was important for us to make sure that we achieved the team glory we aspired to have. And I told them in the locker room, like, we'll fix the film. There's always plays to fix. We'll evaluate it. We got to figure out the whys, and we will. But enjoy this victory, heal up, and we got to continue to improve as we go throughout the season. That's going to be the ultimate challenge. Is we can't look at outcomes. We can't. We got to evaluate everything and continue to find ways to improve and get ready for our next opponent. Go throughout the season. That's going to be the ultimate challenge. Is improve as we go throughout the season. That's going to be the ultimate challenge. Is we can't look at outcomes. We can't. We got to evaluate everything and continue to find ways to improve and get ready for our next opponent.
See, Joe, your super chat falls right in line with what Marcus Freeman said during the press conference right there towards the end. And you can't worry about outcomes. And I love it. I love it. And I think that's why we see a fiery Mark. I told you guys about 3 or 4 weeks ago, Marcus Freeman he's turned into the Hulk in a sense. He's no longer Bruce Banner or David Banner, shall I say. He's no longer David Banner, bro. No, David Banner is the rapper, right? I'm bugging.
He's a philosopher. He's a philosopher.
He is, but he's no longer Bruce Banner, bro. He's the Hulk on the sidelines now because he's tired. He's tired of preaching the same things over and over again and not seeing it. He knows he's not worried about the outcome like he just said. The outcome is we're going to beat the crap out of Virginia. That's the outcome. He knows that Monday and Tuesday before the game. He knows that they're going to beat Army today. He knows that. They're watching the film on Sunday, and they come into the meetings on Monday, and by Tuesday, Him and Al Golden, they talk, and Al Golden comes out and tells you in a subtle way, man, we're going to be facing one of the greatest offenses ever. As soon as you hear Al Golden talking like that, you already know. Did you see Al Golden? Did you see Al Golden pissed off at Tony Elliott for calling that timeout?
That's right.
He wanted that 7 points on the board. He didn't want any more points on the board.
Yeah. When we stopped them and they had to call the timeout.
It means something. This coaching staff has changed. It means something to dominate. And not just dominate on the scoreboard and the outcome, dominate on the field. Be effective. Don't make mistakes. Don't commit penalties. Commit turnovers. Create big plays in the passing and the run game. That's what you want to see consistently. Convert third downs. Stay in front of the sticks. Be the offense and the defense that's top 12 in the nation on both sides that we can be. That's what Marcus Freeman expects. And have creativity in the special teams every week, coming up with some type of fake that's going to get an extra possession and put more points on the board.
But Jason Garrett said one of the best football plays ever seen.
It was. It was pretty dope, bro.
It was slick.
I didn't even see Faison at the snap. I didn't even see him.
When I told you Marty Biaggi.
You did say Marty. I need him to figure out. I need him to go to the portal and get 2 kickers. Okay. Don't just get one. Go to the soccer. It has to be a Brandon Aubrey on the soccer team. They just got bounced from the tournament.
No, because they end up being like Blake Groupie. They get to the league and end up being a full-time starter. Like, where was all of this? You know, we need a Justin Yoon. Give us a Justin Yoon back, all-time leading scorer at Notre Dame. You know, Justin Yoon did his thing. Also, I told you about Marty Biaggi and what he'll do to that special teams unit. He started from the ground up, cultivated. He said, I know what you liked with Coach Mason, but I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to build it from the ground
Coach
up.
Mason was still a little bit better. Coach Mason was actually Coach Mason didn't scheme up almost blocks.
No.
He didn't scheme up almost blocks.
Oh, here we go.
Coach Mason was averaging a block a game. He was absolutely averaging a block a game.
But see, Coach Biaggi said, that's okay. We're going to get it in other areas. We're going to do things that y'all haven't seen before. Every week we got something different. And, you know, we have to do that because, one, I think our offense, if we don't jumpstart our offense in those ways, it'll be a lot harder for us to move down the field like we do. You know, we require all 3 phases to work at an efficient level. Not just we got to have all 3, because if we just had 2, it would be a struggle. So it is good to see Marty Biaggi take on that challenge to come every week with something a little different. You're gonna have teams start copying us all over the country when they start seeing this special teams tape. That's Marty Biaggi's next level. But also, talk about don't cry over spilled milk. He done spilled the milk all over the place. Had to practice real good parent patience.
You shouldn't leave him alone. You knew he wanted some cereal. He said it while we were doing the prep.
Real good parent patience. I was gonna get to it.
What did he say? He said, Daddy, I want some cereal. And I told you got to have the cereal in bulk when Lil Left comes. I told you that, Left.
I had, but you know, his impatience led to my almost impatience.
This is the same. See, this is what I'm talking about. Now you sound like people that are trying to just simply blame the drop passes and the receivers and not bringing in the totality of the thing. You want to place blame on Lil Left.
Lil Left.
You're the adult in the room. You're the quarterback. You're literally and figuratively the quarterback.
And I'm gonna keep throwing to him. That's what I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna keep throwing to him because I almost had to sit him down on the bench. He ain't got so worried about that drop milk that he went to sleep. You see what I'm saying? Because I didn't whoop him. That's the thing.
You shamed him, didn't you? You shamed him.
Why ain't you? And he got all nervous, like I was gonna
get him sad. You made him sad.
Hey, I had to. What they say, you had to explain, right? I just had to explain, and he knew he was wrong to the point where he got upset.
You so bad, Left. You just shamed him to sleep. You just shamed him to sleep.
Hey, because he knows better. He should have waited. You know what I'm saying? He had the thing too big for me and dropped it, and it was glass, and it was all. So, I had to make sure that I was my practicing my parent patience, like Riley. See, I wouldn't bench Riley. I just had to talk to him real stern, let him know. But at the same time, you got to go out there and perform. So, man, going back to it, though, I would love to see us take that next level of coming together. We got to find a way, in my opinion, especially offensively, where we lack at, we can gain in other areas. So where we lack in sloppiness, going 1 for 12, we give special teams amazing plays where we had the refs. The refs was talking like they ain't never seen nothing like that before. We had the refs looking, they had to huddle it. I said, y'all gonna take all this time? We might as well go to commercial. They was over there taking all the time figuring out how.
Wait a second. Wasn't that, which coach was that? It was at the semifinals. Remember the Titans? When they did something? Because that was Tony Elliott. Tony Elliott was talking to the coach like, man, they can't do that. That play was too good. They can't do that. and then I think the ref was like, man, I think that was kind of good.
That was kind of,
Let me go see if they did something.
That was too good. We can't let it slide. We can't let it slide. We can't let that slide because it was too open. You know, we had the whole team fooled. That's what they had to come together on that one. But at the same time, we need to find out. And we need to stress test this offense. We haven't been able to really stress test our offense because going 1 for 12, you should lose damn near every game.
Mm-hmm.
You should lose damn near every game. You know, Chris Tyree, I got a quick little mention. Chris Tyree got nervous in that first.
We appreciate you.
He got a little nervous.
Yeah, you tried to look out. Al Golden tried to look out for the bettors on that last drive too. They was like, no, we need to keep this spread. We need to make sure we cover this spread. Yeah,
that's right. But at the same time, you know, offensively, it's one of those things where you won, but you feel like you lost.
Yeah.
And I think that the disappointment came in where third down, that's the most crucial down. Remember, we had Pat Shermer talk about there's 3 parts to the game. There's the red zone, the third down is first, second down. That third down, we lost that part of the game.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who we was playing. The fact that we wasn't efficient on 1 for 12. How do you go 1 for 12? Now, we've been awful on third down in a lot of cases, but that's the area of improvement that we need to see, and it starts with, like you said, first and second down need to be better, but that third down you need to have, I don't even care if we have 5 plays. Just knock it down to 5. If anything, we don't have to gain the first on third. Like you said, we're good on 4th and short because we just run straight. Look, our version of
the Eagles 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, we version of the Eagles.
36. All you want to do is get the third and 3,
third get the third and 2, third and 3, we're good. 4th and 3, 4th and 2, we're good.
Yeah.
And I think that takes some of the anxiety off of, we need to get the whole 8, we need to get the whole 6. Because right now we're in a battle of our own head. And the scoreboard is we don't want the scoreboard to fool. We don't want the scoreboard to fool us either. You know, because I think the defense does such a great job of widening the gap. It allow us to have time to be a second half offense. You see what I'm saying? That it allows us to make the mistakes, but these mistakes are going to become crucial in these playoff games because you're one and done. There's no round robin where you can lose a couple games and come back for an elimination game. It's one and done. And I think Riley and that offense needs to really hunker down in these next 2 games. Army's a great example of why we need to be good on third down. It's not a team where you keep kicking it to them. We need to be able to convert on third downs like we did against Navy, right? Navy, look, we done beat Navy so bad they didn't even score any points last week. But we need to be able to be good on third down.
Man, Notre Dame broke Navy, didn't they?
Broke Navy. We're going to break Army too. But it really matters because at the end of the day, you got to watch that third down tape, Riley. Coach Denbrock and Riley and that offense need to sit down and really break down the third down tape because we got a lot of the other big plays. We got those. We got the red zone thing covered. First, second down is solid, but, you know, third down needs to be where we need to really put stress on these next 2 games, with USC being a good test and Army being a great test. Because if we don't do well there, it's going to look tough for the playoffs.
Yeah, Lucky Lefty podcast. Shout out to Mello and Lala and Cayenne going to Syracuse following his father's school.
Oh, he didn't pick USC?
No, he picked. You know he was going to Syracuse, bro. Come on.
I mean, you know, it's rightfully so. Syracuse is a good program.
Lala, and by the way, Lala, you need to stop cutting on your face. You're a beautiful girl, man. You're a beautiful young lady.
Here we go.
Just stop chopping on your face. Stop, man. Stop. You're
not good. The fact size, the fact.
He's not a sculpture, dude. You're not a sculpture. You're not clay.
He's trying to be an actor.
That skin eventually starts to. You start looking weird as time goes on, man. Just stop.
Kim effect, huh?
Yeah, just stop. You're a beautiful lady, man. You're Mello messed up. Don't operate off him messing up. Like, relax.
So like, hey, I mean, you gonna do what you gonna do.
All these young ladies out here chopping away. Like, man,
Just
chill out.
Just
Chill
chill.
We tell you that one.
Oh, the Hannah and Olivia. Okay, so but that's the same thing as if Shaq, LeBron, Steph, and Michael Jordan was all on the same team. You telling me they can play well together?
Yes.
No, they.
Yes.
Stop. Who gonna have the ball?
You said Shaq, LeBron,
If Shaq, LeBron, Steph, and Michael Jordan were on the same starting five.
Yes.
They could play well together. Man,
yes. Let me explain to you. Steph is gonna play shooting guard. He's gonna run around screens. Bron is gonna play point guard. Bron gonna play point guard.
Michael Jordan and LeBron deserve the last.
No. Mike's taking the last shot. That's all that matters. Come fourth quarter time, you know who's getting the rock. Yeah, Mike, cool. Mike, man, y'all do that. Punch time, y'all know who's taking the last shot. That's without question. Can they take it in? We're gonna feed Shaq early. We're just gonna feed him early. Turn the game off. Right? Get the other team in foul trouble. We're not going to Shaq in the fourth quarter. He ain't touching the ball because he can't shoot free throws. No, we're not going to you late. No.
You think they can play well together?
Of course they can play together.
LeBron, you see what LeBron said to good old Hachimura? Hey man, swing, yes, swing, Jordan, swing, Steph.
He said Hachimura. Don't. First of all, stop. Don't. I'm not trying to disrespect Rui right now, man. Shout out to Rui Hachimura. You're trying to give me the disrespect the young man. The young man, that's a young man that has gotten a lot better.
Yeah,
first came to the league, a lot better. He might be the third most dependable player on their team
right now
on a nightly basis.
It just matters after the All-Star weekend. That's when it starts mattering who's that third option. But he's played.
I love Ant-Man. But I'm gonna need him to grow up a little bit, dog. All that cursing and stuff in post game, like, okay, it's time to relax. Because if you're trying to elevate your brand, you have to be able to relay what you want to say in a little bit more intelligent fashion. You have to convey yourself a different way if you want that brand to continue to grow. All right, I understand you came into the league, you were 19, 20. That's fine. You come in the post game and sitting at your locker, all the vulgar language and all of that. It's all right. It was funny, kind of cute at first. Come on, man. Get better. Get a little better. That's all I'm asking. Take small strides forward each and every year. Jay Lamont, super chat. The nation be sleeping on our physicality. We always got our opponents stretched out. We take hearts. I'm just saying. Oh, that's without question. They know. Look, they literally. I think offensively, Mike Denbrock has said we know we can run on them when we get ready. It doesn't matter who they're facing right now. Can they say that when they get into these playoffs? Can they say when the rubber hits the road, we know we can run the ball against Oregon. We know we can run the ball against Ohio State. We know we can run the ball against Georgia. We know, because those are the teams more than likely. If they face Miami, they putting up points because everybody puts up points on Miami. That's the last team I'm worried about. They're putting up points. Heck, if they face Colorado, they putting up points. They're putting up points from Colorado.
Yeah.
Ohio State, I think, nationally ranked defenses, I think it's Ohio State right now. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'll save my true thoughts on Indiana until I see them against Ohio State.
That's this week, right?
Yeah, that's this week. When I see them against Ohio State, then I'll let you know what I really think of Indiana. They haven't played anybody. They just haven't played anybody.
They haven't played it enough. I mean, you play
what Coach Cincinnati has done is impressive.
Yeah, you play who's on your schedule. Like that's like us not playing nobody, but we'll find. Like you said, we'll find out about IU when they play Ohio State. We'll find out about us when we go to the playoffs, and I think it will be sort of a shock considering we haven't had a caliber of team that's been up to our standard. But I think we'll be able – we always play to the level of our competition in a good and bad way. So I do think we'll stall at first, but we'll figure it out as the game goes on. That's why you have two good coordinators. We have two great coordinators. Marcus Freeman's getting better at coaching situations. I think we'll be able to figure it out as we go.
Here is a GTB that I had to save for you while you were cleaning up cereal. John Massey said, can Left ask on players only if they have noticed a change Marcus Freeman lately in terms of sideline behavior and press conferences?
Yeah, I mean, he's, when everything's going right, you tend to behave a little bit better. Things tend to start figuring itself out when that ease comes, when your mind's at ease and you're not stressed out every weekend like the Cincinnati Bengals, where you're like, damn, we're doing everything right and losing games. You tend to find out a little bit more about yourself. You get comfortable in grooves and it becomes a routine. I think Marcus Freeman has figured out his routine in games where he hasn't really been challenged coaching-wise or coaching situation-wise, because we've been, you look at the scoreboard, we're kicking teams' butt by 21-plus points. So I do think there's levels to it. And for Marcus Freeman doing where we are as a team and doing well, he's trying to maintain a level of expectation and a standard as we're winning games by this margin. You don't really get tested till things start really going south. And I think when that happens, you can really evaluate where Marcus Freeman is in year 3. I think that obviously the better games to look at is the NIU game, the Stanford game, the Marshall game, because he was tested in ways where, one, those standard expectations were different. I mean, we were penalties heavily. We're playing sloppy. We're not playing as a unit. He's making mistakes coaching-wise. But that's because the bullets start flying. When everything's going well, it's just hard, in my opinion, to really see the true nature of your coaching acumen. Not to say that he's doing anything performative, but, he's trying to maintain a certain level. Nick Saban was always crazier when they were winning by a lot. And then when they were in tight games, he was more calm. Maybe that's where Marcus Freeman plays somewhere in the middle of. But, he's had the luxury of being on a team that's been on the winning side. You look at Brian Kelly and the meltdown that he's having is because when he can't be the same person he was when you're losing games that they're losing. And when your team is starting to talk back to you and chat at you and all type of crazy stuff, you start to see that real Brian Kelly. All in your face, you ain't coachable, who you think you are. All that stuff is who he is when the bullets start flying, but you don't get to see that much because they are a winning team. But now, you get tested in ways that you're not comfortable with. Marcus Freeman's just comfortable. So it's hard to, I know he won't ever say he's comfortable. But, I mean, when you smacking teams how you smacking them, I get it. It's hard for anybody to just be super hardcore and not seem over the top or fake or whatever. So he's in a good position, you know what I'm saying? But when you're in that hot seat, I think that's where your true coaching nature comes out. You got to be able to manage those tough situations. And I just think that this whole season has been built off of what we already knew. We knew we was going to be able to breeze through a lot of this, considering we do X, Y, and Z and had a depth in order and all of that. Playoffs a different monster. I believe you got this. I think we got to see a great side of Kirby Smart. And in his battles throughout the season, because Georgia's had a tough schedule. They got old men come back
tough, bro.
And lose to Bama. So you really get to
at Texas, at Bama, at Ole Miss. That's crazy.
And you get to see his
in like 4 weeks. That's crazy.
And you get to see his true coaching nature. After that Alabama loss, I said, okay, that's the guy I play for. Because that speech that he had after the game. And then he bounced back with the Texas, talking about we hungry, we eating, we disrespect. Those are the things that you got that you wouldn't see when they had Jordan Davis and all them boys. They was whooping tail, going undefeated for 3 years in a row. Now you start to see Coach Kirby Smart's actually a pretty good coach. You managing a quarterback that's up and down, and your defense is in and out, and you're lying, and you're losing and winning, and you're in a lot of close games. We just haven't got to see the battle-tested Marcus Freeman in year 3 just yet. So I think he's doing well for what he's – I mean, anybody would do well. You're winning this much, and you're doing these good things, but it would be nice to see us fix the major mistakes, the third downs, the penalties, the the inconsistencies to start the football game. That's what you want to work on. But at the same time, when you're blowing teams out by 28 plus points, it's just, in my opinion, I'm not going to say it's hard, but how authentic is it? You know, when your whole team's dancing on the sideline and they looking around like, man, we just anything can happen. You got your guy from Wyoming getting the pick six. Everybody's having a good day. We saw a battle-tested Dan Lanning. Now, we got to see the difference. Dan Lanning losing to Washington twice last year, and then him being in a tough battle against Wisconsin and pulling through, right? So you got to see a progression.
That's what I'm saying. I'm glad you said that. See, this is when if that dude, I'm not going to say it's in the dude that a lot of Notre Dame fans wanted to be their coach, I just started with that. That's the dude you wanted a certain second. You wanted him as your head coach. You wanted a head coach that had an opportunity at home to take down number one, and his booty hole got tight. His booty hole got tight. He's up a touchdown, and all of a sudden, all he wants to do is just, man, let's play conservative football. Let's run it up the middle. Man, you got a chance to beat number one. I'm trying to be as aggressive as I can be. I'm not getting this shot again. I'm not going to be this close to a number one squad again. That right there for me, I thought Josh Heupel got tight in the second half, left. I thought he got tight in the second half. I thought when Georgia came back and tied it up, see, they played real loose as long as they had the lead. But when Georgia made that comeback to tie it up at halftime, that second half, Josh Heupel got real conservative, bro. And they didn't want to make the mistake. You can't win games like that. That's the one thing I'll say about Marcus Freeman. He's showing, like, if we go down, it's not going to be because I'm playing conservative. I'm playing to win. We're going for it. We're being aggressive. We're trying to put points on the board. I'm not sitting up here just punting the ball, depending on my defense to win the game for us. No. He's trying to create a team that wins playoff football, that knows how to play playoff football games. That's why he's not happy with the outcome. He's not happy just with the scoreboard. That's what he said. I don't care about the outcome of the game. I already know what the outcome of the game is going to be. I need to see better execution. And if I don't see better execution, I'm upset. I'm not happy. Period.
You look at a guy like Billy Napier. Everybody and their mama wanted to fire him down at Florida. But he finds ways to still.
Great coaching job. Great coaching job the last month. Great coaching job.
He battle tested. When everybody was like, oh, get rid of him, he coached so well that he got an extension. He put in his quarterback that of the future and DJ Lagway, and they played Georgia close. He put in a different set of running backs and changed the defense around, got the offense right. And even though they're not having the season they wanted because they have another tough schedule, but you got to see the true nature of Billy Napier where his quarterback's backing him. His team is backing him, even though the fans and everybody that has all these things to say, Billy Napier is a good coach. He's been dealt with some unfortunate situations, but at the same time, to be able to battle through all of that and still remain a good coach in good situations and get his team in the best shape to win for right now until he can fix it in recruiting in the offseason, that's what you can tell for what a good coach is or not. Some coaches like Jim McElwain, when I had at Florida, couldn't put it together in those tough times and was let go in the middle of the season. So Florida is not going to keep you around for anything. If they don't see you making the right steps here and there, they'll let you go. I was a part of a team that was like that, and I know Billy Napier is a good coach because he was able to go through all of that and still be able to find ways to be in the right things.
Hey, man, I blame you, man. I need to repent. In prayer tonight, I'm going to ask God to forgive me. You had me hating somebody, bro, just because I loved you. I couldn't stand Felipe Franks. I couldn't stand it.
I mean, he's tough to deal with anyway. I mean, he's not.
I couldn't stand that dude.
Yeah,
I couldn't stand him.
Yeah,
I'm like, man, why are they playing this dude?
And you know,
that wasn't right on my part because I didn't even know the young man. I didn't even know.
Yeah, but you know that when you're in the SEC territory, you got to keep the kids from Florida in Florida. You know, it's a whole bigger process than myself. And he does have a lot of talent and all that, but I mean, he's playing tight end right now in the league and doing different, so you don't get mad at the politics of the game and take advantage of the opportunity. That's why it's never really a me versus him thing. Even Cam Newton talked about that with Shay Sharp.
Yeah.
And how at Florida and Urban and them going through the Tim Tebow situation when Cam was just as viable, if not better than Tim at Florida, but just the politics of it and dealing with the situation. So it's Florida's got his own thing going on. But at the end of the day, going back to great coaching is only tested in those moments where a lot of things happen that are out of your control, but you're still able to manage to where you get the belief of the right people. And that's what Billy Napier's been able to do. Kirby Smart's been able to be battled to. They only lost 2 games, but you would have thought they would have lost a lot more the way they're treated and talked about throughout the year. But Kirby Smart every week coming with something different. And it's crazy too, because he even has the silly stuff, like his players celebrating with the fans. And he's like, well, I'm focused on Tennessee. And you can tell he was focused on Tennessee. They end up doing a good job. So it's like, those are the things that I think determine great coaches. And Marcus Freeman has just had the luxury of not being as pushed, but he'll get there. I think this playoffs, we'll find out a lot about Marcus Freeman in year 3.
He talked about third downs. Let's hear what Coach Freeman had to say.
Obviously, early in his that change that he would be the player he is now, but you saw some flashes. It was the Navy game of 2021, and you saw some flashes. That was the first week he played safety. And tracking a ball tackler and closing space, a lot of times it's natural instincts. And he's a guy that showed in that game, man, he can track the ball and make some plays athletically that we didn't have. And to see the development from that point to where he's at now, to be one of the best players in the country, it's a testament to his God-given ability, but the work he's put into it. He's put a tremendous amount of work into becoming the player he is now.
And then I know the whys are a lot easier when you've seen film on Sundays. Weird statistical game. You guys were so good on first and second down. Yeah. 1 third down conversion and a bunch of penalties. Yeah. Do you have any clue on the whys on Saturday?
There's obviously some that are obvious. Some of the holding penalties we can't hold. We got to be better. We can't put our offense behind the sticks, right, behind the chains. Like, that's the thing that stuck out to me more than anything is, we're a lot of third and long situations. The percentage of converting those are not good, no matter who you are. And so what we got to do is a better job of putting our offense in better third down situations. And that means no penalties, and that means, continuing having positive plays and not negative yardage plays. And that's going to be crucial as we move forward.
I mean, I guess, the whole playing behind the sticks things, but when you got a dude at quarterback, you're not talking like that.
Stop. We don't have a dude. We don't.
I'm just letting everybody know.
We don't have a dude. We don't have to talk about that. We don't have a dude. We don't have Trevor. We don't have Deshaun. We don't have
but I'm just making that a point because at the end of the day, what needs to happen is, like Denbrock talked about before the season started, how can you make chicken shit into chicken salad when you don't have a dude, quote unquote, but you have so much talent around you? Goes back to Jeremiah Love. If we're in 3rd and 8, I'm running the ball with Jeremiah Love. Hell, he's at least going to get me close. Because I'm thinking everything of 2-down situation, 2-down territories, and we need to keep testing that theory, because at the end of the day, we're going to be in tough situations where we cannot depend on Riley. I believe Riley in tough situations is more of the ketchup and not the hot dog. When you have the ketchup on the hot dog, it makes it great.
Ketchup on hot dogs, bro?
Absolutely. You don't put ketchup on hot dogs? Okay, we do ketchup on the hamburger.
That must be some Ohio stuff right there.
No, what? Everybody puts ketchup on hot dogs.
No, that's the lies you tell.
You put mustard on brats and franks and all that, but on a hot dog, of course you put ketchup.
Where do you come from?
You put ketchup on hot dogs, bro? What do you mean? Of course you put ketchup.
You put barbecue sauce on hot dogs too, huh?
No, we don't do that. That's crazy. First of all, barbecue sauce is just like syrup. It's a dipping sauce, not a condiment. Like, you don't pour syrup on pancakes. You put syrup in a little bowl and you dip the pancake or waffle in it. You don't pour it on top because it just ruins it. It's like a slushie. You don't drink a slushie with a straw. You drink it from the top down, not the bottom up. Like who? Like what are we talking about? But anyway, he is not.
Newt Rockney. We have dudes where. Because we don't have no dude at quarterback, not in the passing game. You can stop that.
Yeah, I'm saying chicken shit in terms of like where we lack at. We have
to say that he is not there is no panic when Colorado has a 3rd and 9.
There is none. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You guys not talking about we need to be above the sticks.
None of that.
We've seen Colorado.
They're not saying that with Cam Ward.
They're not saying that with Cam Ward.
Stop. You don't have one of those dudes, and that's fine. We know
that's
that.
Fine.
Is he a dude at what he does, or can he be good at what he does? Yes.
Yes.
Let him do that, but he needs to be his best at what he does. And the receivers, when they get the opportunities, need to catch the ball. So we can't sit here and say we have the problem with guys catching balls, but we have dudes. We don't have what dudes do we have at wide receiver? Because they can't catch the ball consistently.
It's not just. I'm not.
See, wait a minute. Because I can talk about Shedeur being a dude, but I can also talk about when he throws it up to number 12. Number 12 is gonna go up and get it. He's gonna go up and get it.
They talk on the sideline all the time. He said, "I'm gonna just put it my way."
Horn was hurt. Horn Jr. was hurt. So they just had a Draylon Miller just walk on the field as a true freshman and just bust two. Just
look phenomenal. Look like he's been in the rotation the whole time.
Oh, the whole time.
And then I go back. Yeah, he can do everything. I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like, look, we have an offense that if they execute, the sum is great. The sum of the parts is what's important.
Yes, it's like the 5 fingers. The fist is
they have to be a fist. Individually. This offense has to be a fist. Because as soon as one unit is not doing their job, you start to see everything else falter a little bit.
But that's why Jeremiah Love has to be the X factor for this offense. When in doubt, we're so accustomed to just everybody gets to touch the football, but like Catholic school basketball. Absolutely. Everybody touches the rock. We're going to run motion. Everybody's getting the pick and roll. But in the playoffs, you need that one guy. Go get me 30. Go get me 30. I need you to go get me 30. Jeremiah Love, it's all fun and games. All the running backs touch the ball, even the walk-ons and all of that. In these tough games, can you carry it 25 times and come up with 170 with 2-3 touchdowns? That's the game.
You name one dude. You said Jeremiah Love. Name the other dudes.
Name the other dude.
That's
it. Just
I'll give you Jadarian. Name the other dudes.
Not on the team. We talking about in the country because Jeremiah Love is a dude in the country.
Name the other dudes that it doesn't matter what is third in.
Doesn't matter.
Name them. I gave you Price. You still in the same running back room. You're still in the same room.
You're in the same room.
So on running backs, we're not 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. Faison, come on, man. Who did he say?
Guy dropping screens?
No, not Faison. Who did he say? Let me bring this up.
Either Mitchell Evans, I think.
No, come on. Stop.
Come on. We're talking about bona fide dudes.
Stop.
First round dudes. Mitchell Evans is a great tight end.
No.
But we're saying he when we give him the ball, it's unfair for the other team.
But it's not. This is the whole thing. The only offenses that have dudes. Let's be honest. Ohio State has dudes. They have dudes at wide receiver and running back. I wouldn't call Will Howard a dude. I would. He's not a dude to me. Oregon has dudes. Would you call Dylan Gabriel a dude? I would call both of their wide receivers. Oh, man, they got 3 dudes at wide receiver. And I like Jordan James. He's a dude at running back. You're muted, Left.
Sorry, I'm not Dylan Gabriel. I'm not, but
Ryan Williams is a dude.
Mm-hmm.
Is Jalen Milroe a dude?
No. Ryan Williams is a dude, though.
Ryan Williams is a dude.
Milrose, no.
I like that running backs. I think Justice Haynes will be a dude.
He's good.
Not there yet.
No, but Dudes are without thought. Right?
Georgia doesn't have any dudes.
Georgia doesn't.
Georgia doesn't have any dudes offensively. Not dudes. Who else are we talking? Texas A&M doesn't have dudes. Texas has
two dudes.
They bond.
And that left tackle they got.
Would you say Quinn Ewers? You wouldn't make him a dude either.
I think he's good.
Colorado is really the only offense outside of Ohio State and Oregon that has multiple dudes. They don't have dudes at running back, but they got like 4 dudes at wide receiver. Like, and 2 of the dudes are hurt. Two of their top wide receivers are hurt, and they just bring in freshmen that just do their thing. It is really Notre Dame can be a potent 38 to 40 point offense
as a unit
and low 30 offense against a good defense if they can just play clean football as a unit together. That's what we said before the season. Riley Leonard doesn't have to put on the cape for Notre Dame. He doesn't. He doesn't have to put on the cape. All he has to do is be the best version of himself.
Yes. We have to stop trying to force him to be a dude by trying to make him look like X, Y, and Z.
Just let him be the best version of himself.
And then just put it around him, give it to love, make him look better with other players.
That's it.
Can see we struggle when we start trying to make him the hamburger. Make him a condiment. Condiments make the food good too.
Now Riley would be a smash burger. The way he runs, he'd definitely be a smash burger.
He'd be the garlic fries. Where you like, don't
make him a side. Don't make him a side piece, bro.
Shadur is the smash burger.
No. Shadur is he's an elevated burger.
Oh, you saying degrees of burgers? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's an elevated.
Riley's a smash burger. He's not a
smash burger. Yeah.
He's not a Ruth Chris burger.
No.
That Wednesday special for $10. He's not that. But he's serviceable. You getting you hungry on lunch break. You go down to Smash Burger to get you all the way through dinner. That's the type of burger he is. He's not a McDonald's burger that you gotta find something. You hungry on the way back to work. You like, I need some more. He'll get you through to dinner.
Facts. Lucky Lefty podcast. So, GTB from John Massey, another one. I already knew that he's trying to rile you up, boy. He's trying to rile you up. He said, I'm over Rudy at punt return. Who would you put in? He's trying to get you started.
Oh, man. I think that's just a legacy position for walk-ons and all type of third-degree players for us. I've given up on buying and balloting and voting for an all-star to be back there. I think that's just a part of our game we're just going to have to live with. Just like how we live with our recruiting standards. We're just going to have to live with that position specifically being reserved for, those feel-good story players, and that's just something that comes with Notre Dame. It is what it is. That's just a feel-good position that we like to hold for those guys and make it builds team morale. I understand it. It would never be our All-American position. It'll never be a 5-star. It's the feel good. So when we have our little pre-interview shows and all the interviews and stuff before the game, we can just highlight that and be like, yeah, this kid came from West Warsaw Community College and he battled his whole way here and his whole family went through controversy and he made, that all of that.
It's been.
It's a good TV story to
ever since Lil Ray left.
It's a feel good story.
Have they had since CJ Sanders left? Have they had
Chris Tyree was back there for a little bit.
And Chris Tyree was a threat he ran a punt back last year. I don't know if he was.
That's what I'm saying.
CJ Sanders was like popping punt returns consistently. Yeah, I don't know if they had one as good as him.
I don't know why I guess, certain stipulations, when the assistant AD said, what he signed up for, that position, it's just, that's the feel-good story position. It gets all our walk-ons lettering.
And you know what's so sad? Even like when Lou Holtz left, Bob Davey had special guys, right? Special returners. You know, Shane Walton, Vontez Duff. Then you went to the Joey Gethrols and Julius Jones. Like Notre Dame will always just find great players in the return game. Tom Zibikowski with Charlie Weiss. And I don't know what it is now, man.
It's like the Wapu Nation is built up so much,
man,
that they've reserved that spot for them or something. Or because it's just like,
and if you're going to turn the ball over, if you're doing that to make sure that you can get possession of the football and not have turnovers, and then he's turning the ball over, it's like, all right, what are we sacrificing for?
What do we say? But I think once again, when you're playing in the games that we're playing in and everybody's touching the ball and this is CYO basketball type of feel, you're going to get that sometime. You get these nominated positions where some guys have a reserve spot. And at this point, it's fine in the regular season. Makes everybody get a Letterman jacket. We understand. Notre Dame still tries to play.
You said it makes everybody get a Letterman.
Yeah, we get it.
Don't they get a Letterman jacket once they go on the road, travel on the road?
We put them back. We have some guys elevate from that position, like Chris Fink, go from returning punts to playing some slot and being a cat. All those stories are great that they can tell their kids when they have kids say, "Oh, I used to walk on," and now with the 20 scholarships added, maybe we change that. Not saying that we don't need any more walk-ons, but adding 20 scholarships could help buff that position up and make it a little more certified. But we're like I said,
I will say this: I really haven't seen Marty Biaggi scheme up a punt return.
No,
I've seen them come after. I've seen them come after the punt consistently, but I haven't seen him drop the guys and set up a punt return.
It's almost
like that's my point. They're like, forget setting it up for
just fair catch it or let it hit the ground.
We're just gonna come out. We're coming after every punt. We're just coming after every punt.
That's what it turned into. Ultra aggressive
and almost blocking. I need to see some blocks because we're foregoing actually returning the punt. And we're just going to go after every punt and almost
we literally say we don't care about the return. We'll start wherever it takes. We are going to try to block it, or we're going to catch it.
If we don't get it, then oh well.
Just field it and get off the field. He's
going to have to break about 5 tackles to get 6-7 yards.
Yeah, we catch it and get blew up a couple times. I'm over our punt return team. I'm over that. I like our kick coverage, our fake punts. We go after it, but maybe one day Marcus Freeman will hold some value to that position a little bit more. But right now, our opponents don't force that change to happen because, like I said, everybody is feel good football right now at Notre Dame.
Didn't Will return punts early on?
For a couple times, and then but Will's not no punt return. We don't know punt return either. He just passed. We don't have a science for punt returner down right. We just don't have a science for it yet. So I get it. It's a work in progress, but until our mindset change on that, I'd rather see us go after punts. That's way more entertaining than watching us field a bunch of punts with a lot of space to return it. And even when we got returns, we don't return it. We fair catch for anything. It's tough to watch at that part of the game.
Hey, Marcus Freeman, what's up with your defense? You liking what you're seeing?
When you look at the big picture, man, it gives our entire program, all 3 phases, a chance to have success. When your defense is playing as well as we're playing, it allows you to still be in the game and be in a position to win. Maybe when you aren't having the success you want offensively to start the game. And so the defense is doing a heck of a job, and offense is doing a good job, man. We just got to eliminate some of those, early game 3 and outs in situations where we're not moving the change as much as we want. And as you look at that, most of them come from penalties or negative yardage plays that we just got to make sure we clean up. But yes, the defense doing a heck of a job, but I'm proud of all three phases.
Do you think you'll play another game here this year?
What I think doesn't really matter, man. Like, let's go to work, right? Let's give this program a chance to play in this stadium one more time, right? It doesn't matter what I think.
Front row on your right, Eric Hansen.
Marcus Freeman, it doesn't matter what I think. I mean, I do like his answer in terms of give us a chance to play at home, keep winning the games that we're supposed to win. But, he's like, man, I don't care. They don't care what I have to say on that. I think he continues to just,
like he said, he knows what he signed up for. He knows that
he was right.
The committee. He knows.
He's telling the truth. He's like, they don't care. They don't care what I think about it. They're going to do us how they're going to do us. But we're going to give ourselves a chance by winning the games with the amount of point totals that we're winning them with.
Yeah. Taking
all aggressive chances we can, doing what we're supposed to do. We're going to be right where we're supposed to be. And I mean, true. As volatile as the 12 spots have been the last couple of weeks, it's going to get crazier these last 2 weeks. And we just got to stay right in the middle because we can't afford to lose because I think knowing the college football committee, they'll probably try to drop us or something crazy if we lose to a SC or something. But I think we have a good chance of being right where we're supposed to be. We can't get any higher than 5 or 6 anyway. So we damn near maxed out already.
Yeah, I think this goofy, man. Let me Bud Elliott, dude. He literally said, dude, this dude literally said he doesn't think Notre Dame has much depth in terms of win quality. And he was using this reason for him having Texas A&M with 3 losses. A 3-loss Texas A&M team ranked higher than Notre Dame in his playoff predictor.
Yes.
And I said they literally beat the team in front. The first thing the committee looks at is head to head. Like, what are you talking about? Forget the fact that they have 3 losses.
One of the losses is us.
One of the losses is us. So you can't. It's like
they didn't have a problem doing it when Cincinnati beat us. They would never put us over Cincinnati, and Cincinnati just kept climbing. We just kept staying right underneath, no matter what we did, because we lost to Cincinnati. Now all of a sudden,
so if Georgia and Alabama end up with the same amount of losses, guess who should be ranked higher? Alabama. Because they beat you. They beat you. What are we talking about? Stop using this. They play in the SEC. They lost. One of the losses is South Carolina. Notre Dame would scrape South Carolina.
Yes.
Play them. Where would you like Notre Dame to play them? Let us know the day and time. Let us know. That's not impressing us. One of the losses is to South Carolina.
Alabama beat South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, you can tell that they're already trying to gear this and
South Carolina lost to LSU at home.
Yeah. LSU's in the slide right now. They dropping out the ranking.
I mean, so what are you really saying? You sound silly. And if Notre Dame played Texas A&M again, we beat them again. We would beat them again. Yes, we'll beat them again. Wholeheartedly. I believe that.
Wholeheartedly.
Let's stop, man. It's guys like that just make this whole process that Marcus Freeman is talking about. Just even if Notre Dame does everything on their end, you expect the hate to come from Notre Dame. Realistically, probably should be the 6th or 7th seed. Realistically, they should.
Realistically,
but see, this is once again. I don't know. Notre Dame is your fault because you have no business losing in Northern Illinois.
None.
You have none. You have none. You would have the 5th seed locked up. 5th seed would be locked up. Home game would be guaranteed. Marcus Freeman wouldn't be getting that question. at his
You
press
definitely wouldn't be getting that question.
Handle your business. You didn't handle your business against Northern Illinois. Have you seen any recent interviews from your boy up there in DeKalb? I haven't seen anything.
That was so long ago.
Has he been calling Marcus Freeman's phone, helping him out, telling him how to win games? Thomas Hammock, you
It
still
just gets more embarrassing as the weeks
it's
go on.
Coach Freeman in his last press conference was like, yeah, I had a call.
I think I got this.
I called DeKalb to tell Coach Hammock, some tips. I gave him some tips on how he could recover.
He already on vacation. They already on vacation, about to go to Hawaii, and they about to have the team banquet pretty soon. They're like, we won the Super Bowl already. We already beat Notre Dame, because now that's all they want to hang on to. They're gonna be like UCF, where they was like, well, we beat the champion, so that makes us champions, and
people are overthinking this playoff thing so much. Just overthinking it, man. Head to head, start with head to head. Go to strength of schedule, and then go to common opponents. It's real easy to do. It really is. Notre Dame, it's going to be very important what they do and how they control the game against USC, because Penn State went to USC and had to come back to win in overtime. So if Notre Dame, who's probably going to be battling Penn State possibly,
we want that matchup. You
have a common opponent in USC, go out there and handle business. Handle the game from start to finish and show we're better than Penn State. We came out here just like they did. We didn't get down 21 points. You didn't see us have to come back from 3 touchdowns. No. We just whipped them from start to finish. That's how you handle your business. That's it. And you're forced to do that because you didn't take care of business early in the season. It's as simple as that. Lucky Lefty Podcast. When we come back, we'll hear from the players and get you guys out of here to enjoy some Monday Night Football and the rest of your evening. Lucky Lefty Podcast. You already know. We spin it different.
What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag, because if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
And if I am a reflection of him, then I must be fly. Because if you like to shine so bright, I wouldn't lie. No.
Lucky Lefty Podcast with ZAIRE, SHAUN, Davis, and Nora Boys. In the building, brought to you by Nora Whiskey at NoraWhiskey.com. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network, Lucky Legends Podcast, Players Only Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, CFB Nation, TikTok, Twitter, X, Instagram at Lucky Lefty Pod. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Lucky Lefty Network. Hit the thumbs up for us. It helps with the views. Like us, man. Leave your comments and questions. We respond to all. Home of the Misguided Passion. Forever committed to making sure we spin it different. Shout out to Jack Kaiser. 29 seniors on senior day. And Jack Kaiser is just a great story. He really is. He's a great story, man. I love the way he stuck around and came back to really pour into the youngsters in that linebacker room. They love him. They speak highly of him. And he wore the jersey for the 63rd time, which breaks the record for Notre Dame. And if there's going to be someone to be the record holder for donning that jersey more than anybody, I'm glad it's him. He's an Indiana kid, small town kid from Indiana. And his story, his journey to get to Notre Dame and then get to Notre Dame and then just pretty much just play above what people said his talent level was.
Yeah, I mean we appreciate those stories like that. He's putting a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into building the mystique of Notre Dame and the value of being ready to play in these opportunities and staying healthy and available. So it is really dope to see a guy like that with an honor that I'm sure he could have did a million different things, and he's seen just about everything you can see in college football. So it is good to see a guy go out on a high note, healthy, and be able to hold a record like that is pretty phenomenal. And yeah, I'm jealous. That's a great, if nothing else, great opportunity to have to play 60-something games in college. I mean, good grief. I mean,
right?
Yeah. And he might finish with what, 70 if we go all the way. So probably something that won't be beaten for a long time. And just imagine not being the best to go to the league, but to be able to still stay and hold your spot. I mean, there's a lot of change that happened in those 63 games that he's had. And to just stay steady, I think it's a great lesson, and I'm sure he'll come back to Notre Dame and be talking about that for years to come. It's almost better than being the winningest whatever at Notre Dame. It's just to be able to play that many games and have that much impact on so many different teams and so many different games as a player. I mean, that's probably one of the most that's one of the awards that you probably want to leave out with when you come into school or something like that. So shout out to Jack Kaiser for having an accomplishment like that. And second to none, man, there's been a lot of great players that have played at Notre Dame, and for them to go to the league early or injury or whatever, and Jack to play through all of that, I think it's just a lot of respect for that, and shout out to him.
Man, I want to, if I could take a moment, man. Shout out to the little bro, Carnell Tate, man. Everything he's been through the last year and a half, personally. You know, he's from the crib. You know, I represent the crib. I wear the crib on my chest. To see him walk into Wrigley Field and score 2 touchdowns and put on a show for the home folks. Plenty of family in attendance. Felt good for little bro. Felt tremendous, man. I just felt like that was,
especially when things start working out, man. Shout out to him.
Yo, I felt so good watching that. Felt so good watching that for little bro, man. I had an opportunity to text back and forth with him Saturday night. And man, good things happen to good people.
That's right.
Good things happen to good people, and that's a good brother, man. That's really a good brother, man. I'll just leave it at that. Shout out to my boy, C Tate. Let's get to the players. Jack Kaiser, he gave his thoughts on the day, the emotions, and the win.
It's a lot of fun when you can have a lot of havoc on the ball, and certainly tonight we were able to do that. Guys were flying around, guys were seeing their keys and recognizing stuff and making plays on it. And so it just makes playing ball a lot of fun, and it makes you hungry to get back out there. Right when those short series happen, you want to get right back on the field. And we were flying around having a lot of fun tonight for sure.
Front row on your right, Pete Sampson.
I mean, the record to have been here as long as you have, I mean, Notre Dame history as well. Like, I was interested in what that means to you, and also just like the ability to sort of answer the bell 63 times is not easy to do either.
Yeah. I mean, kind of what you hinted to, like, it's not easy. And so, like, there's a lot of people that go into me stepping on the field 63 times, like the trainers, family, teammates, strength coaches in general. Like, there's a lot of people that play into that. And so that's the best thing about this record. It's not a me thing, it's a we thing. But, like, being able to suit up and go on that field and play with your brothers out there, like, that's really important. And to do that so many times, like, that's, extreme honor. And to think about, some of the guys I got to do it with. I know that Robert Hainsey got put up on the screen today, and guys were like, who's that? And, like, But like I was on scout team against him, and that was it was really cool to see him come back and get up there. And Book was back today, and I know Sam was back. But seeing those guys come back and knowing I got to play with them and be a part of their story and they're part of my story, it's been really special. And then growing up an hour away, Notre Dame's a super special place, and to allow people to join in the experience with me from back home, it's been a big honor of mine.
Yeah, I saw a picture of Hainsey on the big screen. That's funny that the Notre Dame players is like, yo, who's dude?
Yeah, and what's so cool too? I mean, 63 times. I mean, my goodness, man.
That's a lot of games, bro.
That's a you award. Let's not talk about everybody. That's you. You being available, healthy enough, in the position to be played that many times, they talk about that window. The window never came to you. Mm-hmm. You stayed in that pocket for that. That's tremendous. And I just think that's the greatest, the greatest award you can have as a player is anytime you get that Iron Man type of achievement where you played so many consecutive games. Like, forget all the other records. That's the number one record, in my opinion, to be able to play that many games. You literally have squeezed the juice out of the orange with the pulp, the seeds, the everything. There's nothing left that you can get out of that. And to even be healthy that long. I mean, that's just, if he don't play another down of football, he can talk about so many different stories and experiences that guys will be in awe of. Because he just, I remember game 24, game 53, game 16, game. Like, he could just go. I mean, that's what everybody should want, or what every player should hope for, is to play as many games as you can. He ain't even got to the league yet. He can get drafted just off of the availability that he's able to show. So just awesome, man. I think, like I said, that's better than being the winningest, whatever. If you're able to play that many games, testament to your character, your being a good teammate, you able to be prepared, and you did your body right. I mean, just so many different things and factors go into why that's such a standalone achievement. That's why the LeBron thing is cool. You played X amount of years and that many games, that many minutes.
Oh, look, you just had a beautiful monologue, and here you go.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm sorry, Jack. He was on a roll, throwing flower petals at your feet, and here he goes. He just had to mess it up.
But I'm saying, no, if you play, LeBron now has averaged 20 his whole career now. Let's not forget about that. But I think for Kaiser to have that accolade, man, that should be a plaque or some kind of.
He should definitely have a trophy room. That should be something.
Yeah, he should be somewhere on the wall, because I don't think that'll be broken for a long time, especially when Marcus Freeman recruits and get guys in and out. So that's awesome.
Lucky Podcast. Who else are we going to hear from? Let's see, Left. Let's go ahead and hear from the guy that had the touchdown call back. That 73-yard fake punt. Jordan Faison. I'm sorry, Jordan. Lacrosse champ. Tell us about the play.
Yeah, lacrosse champ. Got to throw that in.
It was definitely an awesome play. I mean, it was super fun to do. We've been practicing. We've had it installed since the last bowl game, so we've been practicing a lot. I mean, just to execute it so very well out there on the field, it was amazing. Like Jack said, we didn't know the call. You just score, you see a flag, and it's like what happened, but you can't control any of it. So it's bounce back and make the next play.
I guess the theme of Riley Leonard's season has kind of been resiliency, and he showed that again tonight. I think he completed 9 passes in a row at one point. Just what do you know about him that he's able to go out there in games like this and kind of bounce back and be that guy? I mean, he's just a dude. I mean, all-around dude, on the field, off the field, and then you get into the game. He's one of the most competitive on the field. I mean, if something happens, he's bouncing back. He's getting the rest of us bouncing back, and that's just something you want to have from your leader. And, he's just going to go out there and do his thing, and we're rolling with him.
Staying on the left side, Tyler James.
Jordan, can you just walk us through what it's been like to deal with the ankle issue that you've been dealing with this season, and how do you feel physically? Yeah, I mean, it was obviously tough in the beginning, going down. But you got to fill your role, like Coach Free says, take whatever role is possible. I was out there helping my teammates, the weeks I was out. And then, getting back right with our strength staff and then our trainers. I mean, they've helped a ton. And then being able to bounce back and feeling great, it's a great feeling. It's like a veil lifted off you. And then Jaden Harrison made some plays today. What allows him to step up in some moments and make some plays like he did?
Yeah, I mean, he's just a baller. His feet are unreal. I mean, you can't find feet like that, anywhere around the nation. It comes natural to him. And, he's just a dude watching him, chasing him down in the end zone. He's fast, too. It's just like, that dude's something.
And for that play to be around so long, just think of the intimidation factor when you hear that. Yeah, we've had this play in starts since last year, and then we just pulling it out just because it's like we don't care. We win and losing. We're trying though.
Like, what else do you have in your back pocket? You say that one from like bowl prep?
Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool because it does give something for teams to look at, especially in these playoffs. That okay, we got things we can go to if when in doubt. When times get tough, when we need a momentum or a spark or whatever they call it, we can just pull out these different momentum shift changers in blowouts or in close games. It don't really matter, but we'll prepare the more we've been running it. And I mean, we've done something exciting each and every week, regardless of the point total, which shows how locked in and focused we are on the bigger goal and being prepared for the long run. So shout out to those guys for being able to execute a play and that's been installed for, like you said, since last bowl game. That was 10, 12 games ago.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, that's pretty impressive, man. That means the bag must be deep.
The bag, that's what
the bag must be
coaches
deep.
are thinking. That's what opposing coaches think. The bag must be deep.
It must be deep. Don Schuler, another interception. I'm telling you, man, this kid is growing up right before our very eyes. I wouldn't have anyone else be groomed by the Nagurski Award winner, Xavier Watts, to take over on the back end and to trust the back end of Algo's defense moving forward. I wouldn't have anyone else learning at his feet other than Don Schuler right now. He's played fantastic all year. This is what he had to say.
I would just say the trust in the coaching staff. Like, no matter what the call is, we know we just got to plant our feet and just play the call and kind of believe in ourselves and believe in what the coaches have taught us.
Front row on your left, Jack Sobel.
Adon, can you take us through the interception? It kind of seemed like you might have baited him into that one.
Yeah. We were in like a too high look. We had somebody dropping to the post fairly late. My job was actually the running back, and the running back, he kind of like waited a second, so I knew I could like free up. I seen the over behind me, and he threw it. So, yeah.
And I asked Jack the same question, but like when you stack a pick on top of a pick on top of a pick, you get a couple fumbles recovered in there. Like how do you kind of feed off each play into the next as a defense?
Yeah, momentum is everything, and our coaches always preach +2, so we try to get +2 and more, and that's kind of our big goal. So,
Left, he's serving your number right on the defensive side.
Oh, absolutely. What's so awesome about this is the perfect position to be in is when you have your older, the guy that's older than you that's performing at an elite level. You come in and just learn and get the opportunity to play right alongside him, behind him, and you're able to work through your mistakes because your older big brother got you covered, as well as you got talent yourself. So you're just nurturing the position. And then on top of that, you got a tremendous coach. So you got the perfect trifecta of a great coach, you have talent, and a big brother that's showing you the ropes, and then you're playing alongside that's award winner, first pick of the, all of that. You're in the perfect pocket, just like Christian Gray with Benjamin Morrison. And so it's like for him to be able to be in such a great position and take full advantage and knowing the opportunity that exists right there, it's just incredible. And then to see him wear that 8 and go out there every week and make yourself known, not just be a guy on the field, but you're making plays, like you say, stacking a pick on top of pick, on top of pick six, on top of fumble recoveries, big tackles made. It's just all credit to what it means to have an older veteran guy that plays so well that he affects the guys below him. Like the Don said, he said, I'm looking at Ben Morrison and Xavier Watts out there. I said, I got to do something too. I mean, that's a great goal to reach for, as well as being coached by a great coach with Mike Mickens. I mean, it's just a perfect position. And, that's the type of follow-up you want in that position room. and it should be an example for other position rooms. Like Jeremiah Love is a great example for Keedron Young and for Aeneas Williams. And I got a great coach in Dina McCullough. I got Jeremiah Love busting big runs every week with Darian Price right there. I can be right in that pocket and just excel at a high level. It's been happening with the tight end room for the longest. It's been happening for the offensive line for the longest. So if we can get that to the quarterback room and the receiver room, you're talking about a really, really great team that we can stack each and every year.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. Let's go to your guy, Left. Let's see what he has to say. Make sure I do it right. With the smile.
He's so smooth with it, too. He scored a long touchdown, just walk up.
Yeah, he just walks up and just, Jeremiah Love, how do you do what you do?
It was mid-zone, and really, I just trusted my O-line. Just trusted that they would get the job done. And once I saw a hole, I hit it, and I got breakaway speed, so track meet after that.
The offense was struggling a little bit. You guys had the early touchdown, but then after that, it's some 3 and outs and some penalties. How do you guys stay patient and continue to get things back on the right track?
We just take it one play at a time. If that play doesn't work out, we don't execute well. Send a pass on to the next play, and we just do that every series. Or that's really how we go forward, man. It's just when we make a good play or a bad play, man, it's send a pass and just move forward and try to make more explosive plays and execute.
Staying on the left side, front row, Tyler Horka.
Obviously, the impetus for your touchdown celebration is pretty obvious given your name, but I'm curious, is that something that you did in high school, or does that start this season? What does that date back to?
It was something I started in college. I was just, over the summer I was thinking of touchdown celebrations, and I didn't do it, when the season first started, but as the season progressed, it came to my mind again. I was like, maybe I should start doing that, and I started doing it. Everybody loved it, and it just kind of just became my signature.
I just love how smooth he is. It's like, no big deal, man. I just, he still got his game shirt on. Just, I just go out there and.
You know what I'm saying? The OGs told us, gangsters move in silence.
Yeah,
he's just smooth. He's just smooth with it.
He's just smooth. He just, I just trust my guys, and I just hit it. And it's a track meet. They can't keep up, and I just, all he needs is some shades on. And he down there play for Colorado. The way he just fits that. That's what you need. To be one of the biggest players on the team, and just it's no big deal. Like even back when Purdue game, he said it's just the standard. This is what we do. We just make it look easy, and that's what we do. I don't know what the rest of the team does. That's what we do. So I love the charisma, and he just makes it look easy. Even his celebration is easy, just simple, and that's what you need. He's just the X factor, and that's exactly what you want when you're saying, when you turn around and the things get tight, and you say, who can we give the ball to? Just throw it up. He'll get it done. There's no panic in him. Even when he was getting outrushed and outgained and outcarried by his quarterback, he just, whenever I get it, I'll just break a long run for a touchdown just to even it up as much as I can, I deserve. He can easily say he deserved more carries, but he makes the most out of what he gets. It makes it look easy. Very inspiring for the rest of the offense. He really puts the offense to ease with his versatility, and I'm glad that we have him on our team, and he continues to make plays. He's busting 50+ yard run touchdowns every week. It's become a habit at that point. And for him not to be an Ashton Genty type of ball carrier, but still be noticeable and effective, just shows how his potential is not even reached yet, and how, we're almost doing him a disservice by not giving him the ball enough, but he's so smooth with it, it just don't even matter. I'm going to play my part, does a great job doing it, and benefit of having a great offensive line each and every year. He's just taking full advantage. Yeah. And, I know the team loves him being on the team. It's none but love.
Man, you say that again. Lucky Lefty Podcast. So we covered the running back recruiting with Justin Thurman decommitting and ended up in the Kansas 25 class. We heard from Marcus Freeman, the players. We had Malik's post-snap read. And I think Notre Dame is going to close really strong in this 25 class as it sits today. I think there are some flips that they have a really good shot at flipping the Florida defensive line commit, but Napier has turned things around in Florida. So it's going to be a battle. You know, I'm very interested in seeing if they could, you know, finish the deal and flip Jalen Wiggins. I'm very excited about the promise of Derek Meadows flipping is from LSU. The only thing that would stop him from flipping to Notre Dame, I think, is if he stays connected or wants to stay connected to Bryce Underwood. I don't think he would want to stay connected at LSU, though. If he's going to stay connected with Bryce Underwood, it's going to be at Michigan if Bryce Underwood flips to Michigan. And it's very interesting because I was listening to a podcast, LSU podcast today, as a matter of fact, and they were talking about Derek Meadows being overrated. Like, well, if he flips, we're really not going to miss him anyway because I don't think that much of him. I'm like, okay, 6'5", 230 and runs a 4.3. All right, then don't think too much of him then. That's the way.
I don't see no 6'5", 230 dude on their roster right now.
I'm like, all right, you don't think much of it? 6'5", 230, runs 4.3, 4.4. All right, let him go since you're so stacked at wide receiver at LSU right
mechanism. Now. I said we don't need him anyway. All right, y'all see what y'all putting out there on the field with Garrett right now? Okay, I think it's gonna get better overnight.
Garrett is trash right now. Keep it a buck. So
well, you know, it's hard. You know, when he's been a career backup, it's just hard. You know, now you front center stage, you got to play every week. You probably looking like, damn, we got another game. Yeah, you got another one. And it's not that he's bad. It's just being great requires you to do it again and again.
Yeah.
And some people just got enough to get halfway through. It's not
something. You know what I saw this weekend? I want Notre Dame to walk up to somebody and just straight smack them in the playoffs. Just smack them. Do you watch Yellowstone?
I haven't got a chance to check it out yet.
Oh, bro, last night, boy, Beth slapped that Pat Jamie about 5 times, bro. When she finally caught up with that dude on episode 2, I just kept looking. I was like, did they just keep the same reel going? Oh, they looped it? It was just like,
5 times.
Like,
they said another good show is Banshee. Have you seen Banshee?
I'm gonna have to check Banshee out. I haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah.
I haven't checked it out.
So
My wife is trying to get me to get into the Equalizer. I just can't. I can't go from
the
Denzel to Queen Latifah. I can't. I can't go from Denzel.
I've been talking about that.
I can't go from Robert McCall. I can't go from Robert McCall to Queen Latifah, bro.
I've been talking about that Queen Latifah Equalizer for so long. Who wants? Not that nobody wants to watch it, but come on.
The Queen doing all these moves, kicking people, whipping people, beating 5 dudes in a room. I'm like,
yeah, you all right. Because what are we doing? That's TV these days. They got all these action James Bond women and you know.
I do like Lioness though. I do like Lioness. It's always
there's a structure to it.
But Zoe, see, I've seen Zoe in Colombiana.
That's a movie though.
No, my point is the character is very similar.
Right.
She's pretty much still a killer. You know, that's what she said in Colombiana. I want to be a killer. Okay. That's pretty much what she is in life.
They be having the women being the baddest killer in the show, and you just like, okay. All right. You just dominating everybody. Okay, there you go.
All right, man. I agree with you. So I will say this, Left. This weekend, you know what I love it? What I love? Kansas beating BYU has to grab Colorado's attention. See, I'm like, okay. Because I would feel more dangerous if they went into Kansas and it was like, they could take a dip down. Like, no,
Colorado's rolling right now, yeah.
Yeah, they have to take Kansas seriously. Kansas has lost like 4 or 5 single-digit games, right? They whipped Iowa State. They just beat BYU. They're playing really well right now. Their defense still isn't that good. They give up points, but are they going to? I think the Colorado defense is going to have to win this game. Because Colorado
defense has stepped up.
They have. Colorado pretty much is going to put up. They've shown they're going to put up 30 points just against whoever. Yeah. Kansas State, I think, is the only team that's held them under 30.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, that was in Travis
too.
And Travis missed the second half in that game due to injury. So, I'm going to say that it's going to be very interesting. SMU beat Boston College. It was a little closer than they thought it would probably be. And I don't care what anybody says, man. That cat Kirby smart than coach, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, he's a
That's
jerk.
what I'm saying.
He doesn't care about educating kids. You say all of that. When it comes to that gridiron, he can get cats. He can get a team ready for a big game. He can get a team ready for a big game.
That's what a head coach is supposed to do. He just gets the team ready to play week in and week out. I don't think another coach can handle that schedule and get a team to be up every week. Every week they up.
Man.
Now they also getting paid handsomely. There's a lot of guys getting
facts.
But they get up for them games now.
Facts.
I haven't seen a Georgia team come out and look flat or be like, what's going on with them?
Clark Lee might whoop Brian Kelly this weekend. They might lose another one. Vanderbilt might beat them.
It's gonna be a game. Don't sleep.
All right, it's gonna be a game.
Kelly been tossing and turning since that Texas A&M game. He like, damn, another one. We got another tough game. Another one. No Mercer. No. San Jose State. None of them. No, you got another one. Another tough game.
It's what you asked for. You said it was better ingredients, so you could be a better chef. That's what you said. Cook down in the bayou. Get your Creole on.
See, them boys ain't playing with Brian Kelly. He can get away with that at Notre Dame.
I'm just saying. He said he's going to have a chance to cook. That's what he said. Hey, Oregon looked real. They look suspect a little bit.
Yep. With that pressure of being number one weighing on them.
Somebody lined up and ran the ball down their throat.
And that's supposed to be the tough defense. All the Lions with the hair out the back of the helmet. Where they at?
I had too much faith in Purdue. Way too much faith for them to keep it close. I don't know what I was thinking. Bro.
Your Illinois boys are ranked now.
Hey, well, it was Michigan State. It's Michigan State. And we got Northwestern coming. We should spank them too.
Ohio State just put a whooping on them.
Yeah, we should spank them too. We can get the 9 wins. We get the 9 wins. You might as well do. That's like a playoff for us. 9 wins for us with Luke Alford.
You taking that?
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Man.
Football game,
Heck yeah. We throwing a party on Green Street. Kicking it all break. Kicking it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything else stand out? I thought Tennessee I think they choked. I think Josh Heupel choked. Nico played his heart out.
He played hard.
Yeah. He played hard. I think they tried to ride Dylan Sampson. But how you just going to ride one part of your offense against Georgia for 4 quarters? You're not doing
Can't do it. Don't last too long.
No, you're not doing that, man. And eventually, Georgia just once they got back even, it's a wrap, bro.
Georgia over when you got to be a total full 360 on how you beat them, and which makes them a good football team.
You know what the crazy thing is? You can outplay Georgia for a half. We've seen that.
Yeah.
We've seen that. Yes, you can outplay Georgia for a half.
Florida did it.
I think Ole Miss might be the only team that really kind of outplayed them for the majority of a game.
Yep.
But for the most part, the Georgia team is going to be inconsistent. And you're going to have an opportunity to outplay them. Now, how big is your lead?
Matters.
That's going to matter. Because when they do start playing well, when they turn it on.
I mean, they tackle.
You got to be able to
They run and they tackle. That's the one thing they
have to be able to answer, right? That's what the Miss Wisconsin, man. Like, dude, you got these dudes down, and you got to play aggressive, man.
Yeah.
You have to play
safe
aggressive.
at home.
Yes, you at home. You just got through doing the jump around. You took the lead into the fourth quarter, and you sit up.
Even at Oregon doing the jump around. I'm like, oh, we got these boys. We got them doing the jump. Oh yeah, we got them.
Man, come on, man. Yeah, so it was a very interesting weekend, bro. Notre Dame's in a great spot. Just let the chaos continue around you.
Yeah, we just got to stay the course. We'll be straight.
Stay the course. Stay the course, man. Stay the course. That's it. Stay the course. Lucky Lefty Podcast. So, from MALIK ZAIRE, SD2 mics, don't forget, go download Apple Podcast, Spotify, follow us, man. CFB Nation. Tune in. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Go subscribe right now. Become a patron, and you'll get the Lucky Legends podcast and the Players Only podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube as well, Lucky Lefty Network. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to talk about what Marcus Freeman had to say today. Some very interesting things as we look forward to Army. We'll talk about that tomorrow on the Lucky Lefty podcast, man. You guys have a great evening, and most of all, never forget to make sure that you continue to spin it different. We'll see you.